could not do steps, and the only way he could get in and out of his house was to have someone help him. So someone would help him, and neighbors would come in the morning, help him. He'd go sit in his chair in the driveway, talk to people walking by, and then someone would have to help him get back in his house. So we built a ramp in his garage. He couldn't do the steps, but he could move sideways. So when we finished that ramp and watched him go up that ramp into the house with a big smile on his face, and he brought tears. That was 2 years. He couldn't get in and out of the house by himself. And so those are our rewards. The reason I do this, and I know that many others that work with me feel this way also, is I believe God is a giver. He gives us life and breath. He gave us his son. And I believe the Bible says we are created in his image, and therefore we are created to give. So that is my purpose. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Roger. Some of those numbers are actually kind of astounding, and I was quite amazed when I heard them for the first time a couple of weeks ago. Just want to let you know we had a picnic late last month for all of our volunteers over at Robin Hood Park. There were almost 100 people in attendance, and we had a great day. The food was great. The companionship and the fellowship were both great, and the Fairfield Glade Resident Services continues to be a vibrant and useful and helpful part of this community. The number is 456-7272. The office is right behind Dollar Tree in that little strip mall. We're open 9 to 12 Monday through Friday. We're always talking to new volunteers. If you have any interest in helping your neighbors, just come see us. Thank you.
Thanks, Will. Okay, it's time for any comments from the floor. Just, you can come up after Nico's done.
I'm Nico Sergio. I'm a community club member since April of 2005. Excuse me. On Tuesday, October 17th, 2023, Choice Hotels announced that Wyndham Hotels and Resort had rejected their $8 billion offer, a 30% premium to Wyndham's latest closing price, after 6 months of negotiations had broken down. Choice said in its release statement that there is too much value for both companies' franchises, shareholders, associates, and guests to not continue pursuing this transaction. Wyndham acknowledged the strategic rationale of the proposal and that terms were within a negotiable range, and both parties had a shared recognition of the value opportunity this potential transaction represents. Several analysts said the size of the combined companies would mean some divestment would be needed. What could this mean for the community club? Would Choice Hotels stop paying POA fees on 1,307 lots, $745,000 a year? What would be the impact on management contracts between Timeshare Association and Wyndham? What would be the impact on community club agreements and contracts with Wyndham? How would this affect community club members that have Wyndham points on restrictions or loss of using their points? There are so many questions, concerns that I do not know about. Let's go into what does Wyndham own in Fairfield Glade. Wyndham owns 2,012 lots in Fairfield Glade, 1,991 resident lots, 3 commercial lots. 18 farm lots. Wyndham, to my surprise, owns Lake Malvern. Wyndham owns the property under the following trails in Fairfield Glade: Canyon, Glastonbury, Hemlock, McGinnis, Overlook, Rotherham, Seven Bridges, and Stonehenge trails. What effect would the sale of Wyndham have on the 487 timeshare units and all the funds that the visitors bring to the community club through our amenities? I'm asking the board to create a committee to analyze how a Wyndham buyout would affect our community club. Prior to opening it up for questions, I've done research, and this is about 100 pages of information that I've gotten off the internet. It's available. Most of this has been available even before October 12th. I'm curious at this point as to what our board of directors has done to understand what's been going on for the last 6 months when Wyndham has been in negotiations with Choice Hotels. And I'm curious also, and I was quite surprised that we do not own Lake Malvern, and what efforts the board has done, what this board has done to get possession of Lake Malvern and possibly to get possession of the trails, the property that all of our trails are built on. Any questions? I'm going to give this to you, Greg.
Okay.
It's too, I did not want to make 10 copies.
that's fine.
So I'll give you this, and you can check on it and work with it. Thank you.
All right. The initial reaction is that this is a Wyndham thing. It's not a Fairfield Glade thing. I understand. I understand. I'm just saying that I don't know that anybody's been tracking that other than just what we may have read in paper, an article or two. And I'm sure that the paper is not going to have the whole story, because the whole story is never released, right? Especially if the deal falls through. So we'll look at this, but I'm not going to make any big promises here, because a lot of this stuff has nothing to do with the Glade, but there are some things you bring up that we should look at. So we'll get some information, okay? Anyone else? Oh, come on. You had your hand up first. Yeah.
I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be or who I'm supposed to ask, but I've met with Bill twice.
Well,
Mr.
first of all,
Colbert.
state your name and...
My name is Howard Hughes. I've lived here since 2021.
Okay.
I'm 100% disabled. I'm handicapped. One of the reasons I bought my house here is that we have an abundance of golf courses. Anybody that's ever had a service animal, the first thing they tell you to do is make neighbors, make good friends with your neighborhood golf course. It's a safe place to take my animal. July 4th weekend, y'all had a change of leadership here. It didn't affect much people, but it affected me immediately. On July 8th, someone called the police department and told them to arrest me for being on the golf course with my golf cart. Now, I've attempted to speak to someone, anyone in your leadership, since July 8th. This is as close as I've gotten to do it. I would have come to previous board members, but I've had to make doctor's appointments. So, all I really want to know is I had no problems living here as long as Mr. Weber was our general manager. As soon as he's gone, Rag Jones calls the police chief and tells her to arrest me for trespassing on the golf course. I'd like to work this out. The American with Disabilities wants to sue Fairfield Glades because in your wonderful 600 pages of instructions, you would acknowledge, in fact, you ask us to enjoy the golf courses after hours. I appreciate that. I definitely do. I appreciate the golf course during hours. But my big complaint here is I can't walk. I can't walk around this building unassisted. So in order to exercise my service animal when the day is over on the golf courses, I take my golf cart, which is what I have been given by the Veterans Administration in lieu of a wheelchair, because it's better for me. It's my personal mode of transportation. And after hours, I take the dog on the golf course and I put my golf cart on your cart path and run the dog down the fairway. I've been told that that now is against the law, and if I do it again, I will be arrested. I don't think that's very fair. Now, if I could walk my dog, I would. But since I can't walk, and I really don't think, I understand you don't want cars and trucks on the golf cart after hours, but I really don't think me and my golf cart on the cart path will create any problems in any way. But if your position is going to be that I will be arrested for trespassing on the golf cart, because my golf cart, that's not gonna work really well. Now, like I said, I've been trying since July to meet with any of y'all, and I've failed miserably. I've been given many excuses. Mr. Colbert says, I'm temporary, I can't do anything. When I asked to meet with the hierarchy, I was told it was in a change. Well, now you've had your change, and now you've all reestablished yourself. I know earlier you said y'all don't want to micromanage. I can't find anyone to talk to me. I can't find anyone to tell me anything. I'm just confused as why for 3 years I've had no problems, and now since January 8th, my life is pretty much upside down. All I want to do here is be left alone. I came here to die. I don't know why y'all moved here, but that's why I moved here. I just want to be left alone. I'd like to exercise my dog, and that's my only position. If y'all are going to arrest me for that, have at it. Y'all have a nice day.
Well, I've heard some of this, and we'll look into what you're talking about. Jeff, we probably need to get together and talk a little bit about this, okay? Because I think there's some other factors that.
I've heard this for 4 months now. We will get with you at a later date.
Well,
I'm sorry, that's not really how.
I'm sorry.
What you want.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to take my dog on the golf course. If you want to arrest me, arrest me.
Well, the one thing I would say, okay, I've gotten some wind of this. My understanding is that you also take the dog out on the golf course during golfing hours.
That is a lie.
Okay?
An unabashed lie. I was a golf director in Myrtle Beach 19 years. I understand what golf courses are and what they're for and what they're about. No, if they tell me I've been on the golf course, the only time I've been on the golf course during operating hours is when I'm playing golf. And then the dog is with me. They don't allow my golf cart to be on the golf course because they claim it's not safe. Now, if they say I'm on the golf course while people are playing, yes, that's because I'm playing also. Otherwise, I do not get on the golf course.
Okay?
So, I've also been told that there are complaints about my dog that date back 3 years. That's amazing because he's not yet 2 years old. So, if you're going to tell me that things are going to happen, I'm going to have to base my expectations on your past performance, and it leaves much to be desired. But y'all know where I live, you know how to contact me, I'll just keep you posted with what you're going to do. I'm going to exercise the dog. If you want to arrest me for that, y'all do it.
Okay. Anybody else?
My name is Sue Godfrey. I've been a resident since 2000.
You're good.
My name is Sue Godfrey. I've been a resident since 2007. And I'm just here to see if there's been any update on finding accommodations for the card and game players who've been left out in the cold when Legends abruptly closed.
Okay, so I can give you a little bit of an update there, and I meant to actually do that in my remarks. Obviously, 2 of the key people that we need to talk to and see where we are Mary Jo Page and Bill Culberth. Bill is sick. Mary Jo is on vacation this week. So we haven't had a chance to get together and talk about what our options are. I will tell you in all honesty, space is a real issue around here. And that's not to say that we're not trying to accommodate anybody or anything like that, but we really do have to take a look at where we are. So we have not had that sit-down conversation yet, and we need to have that, and as soon as we are able to do that, we'll tell you where we are.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
Hi, you guys all know why I'm here. Any update on the Meadowview odor?
Yes, so we're installing.
Bruce?
We're in the midst of installing the new pump station right now, Sue. We've got contractors working over there. We're pulling new electric lines from the transformer down the pole to the pump station. My hope is that the new pump station is online Wednesday next week. That should relieve or significantly reduce the odors on Meadowview.
Because I know about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, you were told by two mutual friends how bad the smell was.
Absolutely.
And Tuesday night, 2 nights ago, it was unbearable. Unbearable. And I know the last notes I had was October 14th, that it was going to be installed. And I thought, boy, if this is the improvement,
No.
we're stuck.
No, the pump station was delivered last Wednesday.
Okay?
We had to make arrangements. Now, we're doing this on the fly, so we've got an active pump station that we have to tear out and put in a new pump station. We're doing it in-house. So we have contractors that have to pour concrete. We have contractors that have to hook up the electric on the pole. We have a number of different contractors involved, even though we're doing the bulk of the work.
Okay.
The in-house labor is installing it. So
Okay.
I've got my fingers
Well,
crossed that next Wednesday.
I'm hoping I can come to the next meeting and thank everybody for 8 years of dealing with me.
I hope you can too, Sue.
I'll-
You know
one-
I hope you can.
I know. I'll buy you a beer.
Okay. All right.
One other thing. Yeah, well, just one. That's all I can handle. This isn't for you, but one other thing about the gentleman who just spoke. I've thanked him for his service, but he's a terror on the roads. He turns off of Meadowview up on Hazelwood. If he had Chinese food with him one time that went out of the cart and went all over the street. He's driven with his dog with the tail hanging down on the street. I mean, God bless him for what he's going through, but something needs to be done about his driving on our streets. He's a danger.
Thank you. Well, I'm sure we'll see you at the next board meeting, hopefully with good news. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. With that, then I'm looking for a motion. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, we still have a couple other things to go. Member initiative, Ken?
Okay. This morning, the Board of Directors is announcing a proposed amendment to the amended and restated bylaws of the Fairfield Glade Community Club. And this is regarding member initiatives in section 7.03 of Article 7. The proposed change specifies the timing of at least 120 days prior to the date of the annual membership meeting for submission. The proposed change clarifies the requirement that a minimum of at least 10% of all community club members in good standing must indicate their support of the proposed change by signing a signature form at the time of the filing of the statement of the proposal with the board secretary. A member-initiated bylaw change package will be available from the board secretary that outlines the process to be followed, the forms to be used, and the initiative submission timeline. The proposed change specifies that the board of directors will promptly take an official position regarding the statement of the proposal, and the proposed change requires the matter to be placed on a ballot for the then pending annual membership meeting, regardless of whether or not a director's election will be taking place that year. Action on the proposed bylaw change will be considered at the Thursday, December 14th board meeting. All comments regarding the proposed bylaw change language should be received by Friday, December 8th for consideration by the board. A link to the proposed bylaw change language will be provided for member review and comment. And we will be posting the current language and the proposed language along with the forms that are required in order for the proposal to be considered. So that will be sent out either later today or tomorrow for member comment.
Good. All right, we still have a couple revised policies that need to post for member review. Amy, you want to come up and talk to these?
Good morning. I have two policy revision proposals for you this month. One is the fixed asset policy, and what we're doing there is we are adding a second signature to disposal of fixed assets. And the other policy is the investment policy, and with that we are adding the ICS bank accounts to the approved investment policies.
Okay. So those will be out for member comment as well, and will be considered at the December meeting then. Any other comments, questions, or anything else? Now I'm looking for a motion. Didn't find it the first time. Go on, Ellen.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much for coming.
So it fell through anyway.
Are we meeting in here?
It just dropped.
Well, I wanted to make sure that he